not.
Bro, you know I don't believe that shit, right?
Oh, check it out. I'm never here.
So what man get number?
Here we go.
We're live?
All right. Welcome, everybody. This is the Girl Men Talk podcast. My name is Noran Price, here with my co-host.
Lyndon does.
All right, and we have a very special topic and some special guests with us tonight. We're discussing men's mental health. We're going to cover as many topics as we can, talking about the state of men's mental health in Jamaica, the approaches, society's involvement, personal involvement, etc. And to join in the discussion, we have, to my left, Jehan White. She's a registered counseling psychologist. Welcome, Jehan.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. And we have our very good friend, you might recognize him from some of our clips, Peter Kyoshi.
Well, get me in a trouble.
And Peter is here because he's actually open about his mental health struggles that he's had and talking about therapy and things of that nature. So welcome, guys. Thank you very much.
Bless.
All right, so we're going to start off a few tips that our wonderful Madam Producer sent to us. There's some factoids. 3 times as many men as women die by suicide. Men aged 40 to 49 have the highest suicide rates, and that's a worldwide thing, correct? And apparently during the pandemic, females experience lower life satisfaction and happiness than males. I did not know that. That was news to me.
That kind of makes sense though.
And men are less likely to access psychological therapies than women. And I think that's basically the basis of what we're talking about right now. So, over to Lynn.
Over to me. I just feel like, especially in our society, it's like whenever it comes to mental issues, it's either people just say the person in them feelings or them mad. That's it. Oh, it's just mad.
Yep.
Nobody's just mad. Like it has to be something.
Something trigger.
You understand?
Yep.
And a lot of the times out here, we really don't take it seriously. I don't think we have the necessary resources or facilities to adequately deal with what I would say is an epidemic
Of
handling
epidemic of the handling of
handling of persons who has mental issues.
I'm gonna beg to differ,
Okay.
and I can beg to differ on the men's side. I can't talk for women, but I guess it's the same facilities that's available to everybody, and the resources are there. They're there.
I agree.
Webster's Memorial offer counseling, psychiatric treatment, therapy sessions for little or nothing. And there are a whole heap of church organizations that offer these services as well. It's just that as a man, we were taught in Jamaica to man up. You're not supposed to have them emotions. You behave like a girl, like a bitch.
Alright, so
it did it. We men just not want.
So just like how you said that, like for instance, to be honest, some of the names that you just called, I never know. So why is it that this is not advertised and put out there? For instance, like they would do Jamaica AIDS Association, Jamaica Cancer Association.
There's actually, and I found this out during my little stint, right? There's actually a Facebook group called Jamaica Mental Health Society or something like that. I'd have to scroll through my phone to find it again, but they were ones who were instrumental with pulling me out of my little state. Cause it's just like that. You just join this group and
Everybody just talk.
people there, and you realize, like for months I was in this group and not saying nothing. And then you realize, but wait, our man this a talk about his mental health like this. And
so it only
before
became, it pull you out when you saw somebody else doing it.
yeah, bro.
Maybe that's a big part of the problem, but
Yeah.
our professional, from what you've heard so far, what's your take?
Services are definitely available, but in terms of the ability for it to be known to the public, for example. So when it comes to things like he was talking about like Jamaica Cancer Society, Jamaica AIDS Society, a lot of that stuff is related to funding, right? And so there isn't as much funding for that. So since COVID, for instance, there has been a larger push around letting people know that these services are available because there became more of an interest or more of a obvious need for it. It's always been necessary. But the fact that it has become so necessary, so much more important, has been since COVID. Is really what ended up
When
happening.
people
So
are forced to.
right. So for instance, that's when Ministry of Health came out with their suicide hotline. Was because of COVID.
I go beg to defend that
It
one
wasn't there
again.
before?
Yes. The suicide hotline has been there since. Alright, hold on.
Suicide hotline has been there for a while. The suicide hotline has not always been operable. It has not always been accessible.
Hold on.
And also known. as
Hold on,
widely known.
hold on.
No,
So,
the known part is
hold
what-
on,
The
hold
known
on,
is what I'm
hold
talking
on,
about.
hold on.
Yes.
So, when we live at Stony Linden,
That's a long time.
2011 or something like that. I called the suicide hotline. You know, the crazy thing about it is like, I think, as you said, I'm going to differ on some part of it, but I'm going to agree with you on another part of it, right? Because 2011 or 12, somewhere in that region, I called the suicide hotline. Yo, I'm having suicidal thoughts. And the person was like, oh, really? Yeah. So what do I do? Find somebody and talk to. Click. Wow. So, yeah, as Lyndon said, it was probably not that
Operational,
operational, but it
But,
existed.
so I knew about the suicide hotline, and I've given people the number to call the suicide hotline, and they don't get an answer.
By any chance, is the same thing?
Yeah. And they weren't getting an answer. So I feel like I have to agree with her when she said when the pandemic happened, a lot of
That's when we
things
took it
were
serious.
put in place.
That's when we started taking
Because
it
there was a
serious.
spike.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was a spike.
That's when we started taking it serious.
We only take it seriously when it becomes necessary
Bro, we
and is
don't-
now being spoken
They're very
about.
responsive.
Bro,
Very.
in Jamaica, we are reactive, we're not proactive. Something of ya, we can see the clear signs that things are happening, but
Until it
we
happened.
wait till
Until it happens to the right person.
no, it's not right there. You are
Yeah.
until it start knocking at our door. That's when we start. Oh shit, this is a problem.
Yeah.
I have a question. As the expert in the room, you actually have patients. In the time you've been practicing, have you seen anything against the stereotype that men just don't go to therapy?
Have I seen anything against the
Yeah, meaning
stereotype?
you've seen enough men that make you say, no, that stereotype is now done. Men actually going, or is it that you see little spots and pockets of men going? Not necessarily to you, just in the field in general that you know of.
That is a hard question. The reason that's a hard question for me to answer is because I absolutely have seen men go to therapy, without question. And I've seen age groups range from, I see a large majority of men between really in their 20s go to therapy, which would surprise, I think, a lot of people.
And
Can't
you know,
surprise me.
I don't think it would surprise you because the thing about it is that age group is the age group that is going against society norms.
Well, there you
Yes.
That
yes,
age group
There
is
you
the
go.
age
That's
group
fair.
that's going
It's against
against
the wall.
the,
Yeah, but
oh,
That's fair.
man's supposed to be like this and
Right.
that. That's the age group that is thinking for themselves.
Right, and the age group that goes against even what masculinity should look like.
Right.
So they're defining it in their own way, which they should be doing, because let's be honest, the old way needs to be let go.
I can tell you. I can tell you. I
That's not the
can.
conversation, but it should be let go.
I can tell you, and I'm not going to say I'm 100% sure of this,
Okay,
but based on the Jamaican stigma,
right.
I can tell you that most of the men that you see in the therapy sessions,
Yes.
they come from uptown. You hardly ever see a Garrison youth walk in a therapy session.
Percentages,
Is that a fair
percentages,
statement?
percentages.
Let's just go off numbers. Majority, minority.
Well, in my brain, I try to count. I cannot answer that honestly because of how much. I mean, I'll be honest. Therapy is expensive. So no, but that's the reality. So I can't say necessarily. I can say sure, based absolutely the uptown people, for instance,
Can afford it.
So right, they can afford it.
Exactly.
Is that because of the stigma? I can't say that. I can say that's because of the cost. Now I have met actually more people. I think people will be surprised how many quote unquote Garrison youths I've seen who have started to make some money, and the first thing they do is go to therapy because of what they have been through.
What age group though? These are the younger folks.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
but the point is them can afford it now. So it's not a matter of the stigma. It's that
the
I
stigma.
couldn't
What should I
afford
say? It's
it.
not the stigma.
It's not the stigma, it's the
It's
cost.
the cost.
And so, and they've
Fair
gone,
enough.
and I've seen enough times them come in at that point and say, I've been to therapy at this place that was less expensive. And I'm not equating cost to quality at all. We want to make that clear. Cost does not equate quality.
True, facts.
But the reality of the situation is that some situations, I've seen lots of therapists who cost plenty money that aren't necessarily great, and plenty who cost no money and are fantastic. Cost does not equate quality in this. It is not the kind of field that is regulated by price. You know, for instance, physicians have to charge a base rate kind of thing. Psychologists don't have that necessarily. So I've seen ranges from 4,000 to 20,000. Good? And so when you keep that in mind, like, so I've seen people come in and they've said, all right, I'm going to give this a try. I tried it elsewhere. I had a bad experience. And so I've heard it can work. And I know for sure something have to change. The only thing they come into my office and say is, me knows that I have to different. Something has to be different. So I'm giving this a go.
I can definitely relate to that because when I first decided that, you know what, I have some things to work on and I got therapy. The first 2 therapists I went to were big name therapists with big name prices.
Yep.
And I went to them once and I was like, yeah, this not gonna work.
Fair enough.
This not gonna work.
Fair enough.
And the person who actually helped me and got me to continue therapy, his price was $5,000 a session.
There you go.
You understand?
Yeah.
No name, no, it's just a regular.
Maybe one of the problems is you shouldn't equate quality and cost.
No.
But I think naturally in our society,
Usually
we think that
if it
is the
costs
more
better,
expensive, the
it's
better.
the
That's
better.
Yeah,
what-
it is.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So who?
Yeah.
So where does that fault kind of start? Is it that we are projecting? Is it that people say TV and think that the only way therapy will work is if it's an expensive one where you sit down in a man's office
You know,
and talk about your
leather,
feelings?
leather chair and talk. Yeah.
Because the fact
You
is,
get your
we
beverage.
talked about costs, but when I looked, I saw that you have free online, free telephone hotlines. You have church. You have the most church per square capita.
Yeah, but-
hold on. But if let's say you're not a church-going person, there are many places that offer free therapy. So why aren't we taking it up?
All right. So the many places that offer the free therapy offer the therapy on a religious perspective.
Which can
Now,
be determined.
when I decided,
Right.
when I realized that something was wrong up here, I knocked myself and I started calling around some places. I called, what church in Hertfordshire was right at Old Hope Road, right at Hope Road,
Bethel?
Bethel. Called Bethel first and them couldn't help. Family Life Ministries on right by Andrews there,
Cecilia.
Avenue. Called them, couldn't afford that. Called the one further down the road by TOJ. I said the name earlier, crap, no, Webster. And Webster was like $1,500 a session. I'm like, all right, cool, running upon that. First thing the lady started talking, the therapist started talking about was the Jesus approach. Now, don't get me wrong, Noran. I believe in a God. I believe in a supreme being and all this stuff. But then, guess what? This depression thing is a reality. The right, yes, sir. Me no want you tell me, say, me have to look up there, sir, for the help from it. Because guess what?
Or pray about it.
Yeah, bro, because I see too much people are pray about stuff and dead and still have the things that happen to them.
And it's funny
So I
because
said to her, I said to her, listen, no disrespect or offense to your religion, but I do not want a religious-based therapy. I want something that is logical, practical,
Right,
logical,
practical skills.
something where I go, and she go, all right, cool. It wasn't until I started with school for marriage and family relations, I start realizing that, oh, you know what? Later down in life, therapy is mental, physical, spiritual. At
But-
some point, but get me out of that rut the first
but
before you
with
introduce
that,
me to the
even with
spiritual
it
part.
being spiritual, people also need to understand that being spiritual is not tied to a specific religion.
Exactly.
You
Facts.
understand?
Facts.
And I went to a therapist that was, he was a pastor.
Mhm.
And when I went, sometimes when I talk about something I'm really interested in or whatever, I cuss.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, we're in the church, I can't cuss. I said, well, I can't come here.
Facts.
Right.
Yeah.
Simple.
Fair enough.
If that is your rule, this is my rule, and this is me coming to you and say, come as I am, this is
I
me
come
as I am.
Yeah.
So if
yeah.
we can't cuss, this not gonna work for me. I mean, I talk about something really bother me and hit it. I don't have time to sit and count my words.
Yeah, just
Get it
your words
wrong,
are flow
and then
naturally.
you figure it out.
Yes.
If you can bring me from a 10 to a 5, then I cannot cuss. But
Yeah.
if I'm at a 10, I'm gonna cuss. Cause I'm talk.
Logic.
Hence why you said the first session it didn't work for you because they were connected.
Yeah, and it's not only that. I feel like a lot of the times, and I guess it in some cases, we still have to remember that the therapist or whoever we're going to, they are human. They do have their beliefs and the way that they function. And so a lot of the times, I think they do kind of cast some kind of judgment depending on what it is that you're talking about or what it is that you're, or it can come across to me as you're being judgmental. Probably you're not,
Okay.
but how I interpret it.
I can say something to that. I used to think that way until I start with school again. As I tell you, school have a lot to do with the whole about how I think now about some stuff, right? And how I think now is affected by school. As a therapist, you're supposed to check your personal feelings at the door.
Right.
Check your personal emotions at the door. You can't, not because you're a Catholic, you want to inflict your Catholic beliefs on a client. You should not. That's the. Thank you.
So as an
Thank you.
expert,
You shouldn't.
Right.
You shouldn't.
So
from
I
what
was-
you've heard, is anything he's saying true? Is he wrong for having interpretation of? I'm getting a little bit of a either judge it or let's just hope I get this session over kind of vibe.
So yes to both. You absolutely should. You should check it at the door. Not everybody does.
Right.
So both are a yes. Because there are two schools of thought. The belief, there's one school of thought in terms of therapy that you should, I am a brick wall. I have no opinions or anything. I'm whitewashed practically. So anything you tell me, it don't
Whiteboard.
matter. There's another version that says, I am a human in the
You
room
are
with
human,
another human.
right.
And so as another human, I will have opinions, but I will happily bring my opinion. Like I would say, this is my experience, but my experience doesn't mean that I'm unable to be a part of your experience. And so, for example, while I may have my own religious beliefs, I am not a religious counselor. There is a big difference. And not all people who have religious beliefs are unable to provide religious counseling. They bring it into the room. But based upon religious trauma, which is a real thing, people are traumatized with all things, and religious trauma is common. I hate to say it, but it's true. I cannot assume to my client, because they bring up God, I can now speak about Bible verses. That could be very triggering for my client.
But
And so I can still have conversations, but I need to check with you and make sure you're okay.
But it's funny because the counselor that I actually found that I continued with, he kind of does bring the spiritual aspect in it, and he firmly believes in God. But when we started, he asked me, what are my views?
There you go.
And he still put it in and him said, boy, Lyndon, but no, you don't really want to hear this, but me
But,
I tell you
yeah,
the same way.
exactly,
And see
exactly.
if
And
you
that is-
want to think about it
Exactly,
or whatever.
That sounds
And
like respect.
I can
That is-
accept that
that
because
is-
you still respect
yes.
my opinion, you
Right.
still respect
Yes.
how I want to live my life,
Right.
but you're still doing your job in the
Yes.
way that you see
Have been
fit.
given,
But it's
absolutely.
not like we're going to do it this way.
Yes.
You're still giving me that option if
Right.
it's something that I want to look at.
Right.
Yes.
And I can appreciate
Right.
that.
Yes.
Right.
And
That-
so
that's
when I
how it
go
should
to
be
him,
done.
when I go to him, enough of the time, me cuss and some I say, boy,
Sorry.
Sorry.
you know me I
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
I
apologize.
know
Yeah.
say you don't really, but right, and him I say, yo, it's fine. Go ahead and get it off.
And that is what a therapist should do. Meet
That's the
you on
ideal.
your ground.
That is definitely the
I mean,
ideal, for
the
sure.
whole idea of therapy is to get you from point A to point B. But if I cannot come down to point A to meet you, to carry you up to point A to point B, then it don't make no sense.
True, but at the same time, it's not about carrying, So I as a
Guided.
therapist, I have to know I'm beside you when you walk towards. And the reason I choose that is really important is because my agenda and what I think you need has to be something, even though I am aware of, I cannot impose upon you.
Yes.
I cannot
that's
decide
true.
this
That's
is
true.
what you need to do. I can see clear as day and say, me know that if you just do this and this, you go all right. I cannot at any point in time tell you that. I have now created, this is now my therapy. And that's not the way it goes, it's yours. So if you decide you want to go to Timbuktu to get back to Mobe, I need to follow you go to Timbuktu
And
and then
come
come
back
back
to
to Mobe. Me can't just say, just hop, you understand, the nuts one and go down, so I cannot do that. I have officially lost my ability as a therapist.
Okay. Before we continue, let me just
Yes.
go through a few of the comments that we got. So,
Yes.
we made a post and I asked, do you think the mental health of our men is taken seriously? Are men able to express themselves without being ridiculed or being seen as weak? And somebody said, no, it's not taken seriously on a whole because boys/men are reared to man up and not express their emotions even when they are in pain and turmoil. It takes a patient and an empathetic partner to show them that seeking help is not a weakness, but it is a hard battle to break down those barriers where they will seek professional help. Someone else said, I don't think it's being taken seriously. However, I do feel there has been some minor improvements over the year where a few men are realizing the importance of speaking up, getting therapy, and addressing the issues affecting them. I still feel like the wider society sees them as being weak if they speak, or on the flip side, if it can be an ego issue with men in general.
All valid points. There was one of the comments in there said, basically the synopsis was, nobody cares about a man's feelings.
But
And honestly,
a fact that
I think that is factual. It may not be factual
Makes me so
because
angry.
again, let's remember this. In this country, and I think as human beings, we judge success by majority. If more people are doing it this way, then we say it's successful. Less, then we say it's unsuccessful. So the fact is, generally, a lot of men do not come across a wide cross-section of people caring about what they feel. Yeah, we have to get over that. Your feelings can't pay JPS, so work through it. And I think that's where, I think, some of the people my age, we grew up in that, hey, yes, you're not feeling well, but you can't tell JPS I'm not feeling well today, they want the money. You can't tell the bank or the car insurance that you're not feeling too happy with the money. And that's how we were raised. That part was, there are more important things, deal with that later. Is it right? No.
But not only that, in growing up, most of the time as a boy, if something should happen and your feelings are hurt and you cry, the first thing is, yo, you a girl? What you a ball for?
hey,
Eh? Yo,
Hola.
get me? And so this is instilled in us. And then it's crazy because you live like that for 30 years, 35 years, and then you finally now meet a woman that was grown completely differently, and they expect us to just flip a switch, and all of a sudden,
And adjust.
we're supposed to be
I'm amazed.
emotional, and
Yes.
we're supposed to be
Yes.
okay
How
to
is
Yes.
you
speak
suddenly
about
supposed
this.
to have a range of
It doesn't
emotions that
happen
you were
like
never
that.
taught?
It
I'm
doesn't
blown
happen like
away
that.
by this.
And these are the same women that are growing the same boys.
The
when
same
them
way.
ball, them growing them the same way. But they expect to, at some point, this man now is
upsetting.
supposed to be grown and be good to a woman and be emotionally available and emotionally intelligent and deal with issues like that. How? We were never taught. We
You know-
don't know how to do it.
you know, I had an ex
No comment.
that one day, I don't remember what the hell happened, but like, me in a bathroom, sit down, and I cry. Yes, my ball.
Good.
Me in a bathroom, sit down, and I ball. And she come in there and, you know, of course, I'm in like a private space. I'm crying in my private space. And she come in the bathroom and she see tears from me. And she said, where in the bathroom? She come out back. Couple days later, we have a conversation. And she said, yo, a man crying is a sign of a weakness for a man, you know. And I sit down and I say, no. Though I have big up my speg in my mother, though I grow in a I live in a garrison, I grow uptown. Because my mother did work uptown, right? So I look at it as having the best of both worlds.
You saw the two sides.
I saw the two sides of, so I saw grown men cry uptown
Unjudged.
and unjudged, and I saw boys in the garrison being taught, if you ball you want pussy, You can't say that.
Don't go learn.
Well, it's already out, so
Sorry.
here we are.
But yeah, you're one punk if you ball in the garrison. So as a man now, I grew up on the two sides of your dog. Which side you gonna lean to? Bro, I lean to the upsound side. Sorry, I
But
deny the
It's
garrison.
not only that, like just like that. I think here's a big difference. A lot of people don't look at depression and mental illnesses as a sickness. The funny thing is, let's say you're with a woman and she has cancer. Most of the time, if you are a man and you're really into this woman, you try to find out everything that you can about cancer, about her treatment,
Yep.
about what you will need to do to help her, about
Facts.
all of that. I cannot say that most women that are with a man and she knows that he struggles with depression has ever, I don't think the majority of them make an effort to
So-
find out how do I deal with this person when they're having an episode.
Yep.
How you can butt in.
No, finish.
How,
No, finish it.
how do I deal with this person when they're having an episode? What are the little signs I can look for to see when they're going into an episode? What are, or I can speak personally.
Okay.
I have never really gotten that, probably except once. Like I remember last year carnival. From the day before, I feel the down come for myself. I'm just withdraw. And the thing about it is most of the time when you get an episode, somebody will ask what is wrong. And in reality, me
You
don't know. what
don't know.
You don't know.
So I
If you
cannot
didn't know how to
answer.
fix it.
Right.
And then the thing about it is, this person asking you what's wrong, and you say, yo, the only thing that come out is, yo, I'm good. And then feel like, okay, at that point is, you look attention, or you don't want to talk to them, or it's about them. And it's really not about you. I cannot tell you what's wrong. I have sat there and be like, yo,
Warm to me.
business have a good. You make money. Home life is good. Family good. You're in a good health. What the hell is this? It started the day before Carnival. And Carnival day we say we are go out and thing. We went out and we just sit down at the stands and we just watch. Like me just in a one next world. I feel like I'm here alone there.
Yeah.
A friend of mine came and she said, yo, what going with Lyndon? She said, Lyndon, what am to you? And I said, yo, I'm good man. And she looked at my partner at the time and she said, yo, what am to Lyndon? And why you do Lyndon? And she said, yo, nothing. Him there on him period from yesterday, just low him. And yo, she said that.
Wow.
Yes, when she said that,
Yeah, man, that trigger you
I sit down and me I
deeper.
look upon her and I say, yo,
If only you knew.
from there, I think that was part of the beginning of the end of that
Yeah, that
relationship.
needed to be. Yeah, fair.
So-
That's fair. Many times I have experienced, and I'm speaking as a therapist. I've experienced the partners of. So the partner saying, my man is going through something, or my partner is going through something. How I don't know what to do. And so we talk about signs, symptoms, how we help. And they want to be able to help.
Excuse me.
And so I don't have the experience of, from a professional perspective, of
Right.
them now cussing and saying, you know, he's on his periods. Also, what the hell? Like, screw that girl.
all right,
Sorry.
but, no,
You never said
but
that.
also you have to kind of remember, say, where I think where the difference would be is you get the people when they're at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Right, so they have now said, okay, this is a problem. We're going, but in a regular relationship,
do-
no,
Most of the
but
problems.
that's precisely why I said in that capacity.
your- right.
So as a therapist, now as Jehan, who just happens to be a therapist, the person, when I have seen, all due respect, birds of a feather. So my friend then, when we choose our partners, we have to know that we're in this together. And so while I may not have the language to say, yo, my man, I got you something and I don't know how to support him, at the very least, they do want to try and research it. So I think it very much depends on their viewpoints on what masculinity is. So a lot of people that I know personally view masculinity not in this very traditional context of a man you have to be stoic and you never show emotions. We want you to be vulnerable with us. We encourage it. And we know to encourage vulnerability, there has to be safety. If I judge you, there's no vulnerability. It's done. So that's the only way to create a safe enough space to change it. Now, from the other side, if I do meet somebody because women, I can't ask a man something we can't do. So if I'm women go through depression, huge anxiety, a lot of women are
Right.
anxious, and I want my man to be patient with me. Don't you see I'm anxious, I'm going through things. I can then vex with you. You understand when you go through something and then me want something from you. That doesn't work.
And it's funny because the person I'm talking about suffered from anxiety.
The
You know,
irony.
the crazy
The
part.
irony.
You know the crazy part about it. We have the old Jamaican saying, "Jackass say world level," right? Women, and I'm going to.
Some.
Yeah, don't do the women.
All right,
don't,
yes.
don't do it.
Some women,
Don't do it.
some women expect us to be in tune with their feelings,
Okay.
But they're not in tune with
but
ours.
then
Because
our
we don't have feelings.
it's like
Yeah,
Are we
remember-
this?
remember,
Are
so
we
we don't
this?
have feelings.
we don't have feelings.
We don't have. I feel
We're
like
some inanimate objects that
in our society, we don't have feelings until there is something wrong with the woman. And then at that point, we're supposed to have feelings
All the
and show
feelings.
empathy and be all of that. But when it's something on our side,
Chris,
we're supposed to just stuff it out.
the crazy part about it is we're not supposed to have feelings until you hear say a man kill him woman and kill himself. And then
And then they're surprised.
and then everybody go
Clutch my pearls.
but then when you sit down and reason with a man would do that, you sit down and reason with him friend them, I'll tell you say, if you listen to the stories,
You know.
if people were paying attention, you'd hear, oh man, Linda live the first months now. Bro, how me never see that?
Yeah.
And I think what need to happen, we need to have a mass campaign and educate people. And what if people use this word, boy, because somewhere here, boy, I feel depressed.
And,
And
All right.
as a person that has been there, Lyndon, when me hear somebody say, boy, I feel depressed, that's something when me not take for granted energy. Because me know what depression can lead to,
Really,
suicidal
yes.
thoughts and all of this stuff.
I
I know what
always
it
say-
can lead to. Some you
But,
withdraw with
Brian,
the person one
this is
side and
part
stuff.
of the problem because we start judging what is more depressed than depressed. Once you start with,
Spectrum.
I've literally put a gun to my head and I came back. So when she says she's depressed because she never get the A, or I'm saying depressed because she never get the red bike and get the blue bike, we automatically judge for say, and a depression that, stop overuse the word. But we're doing the same thing that we are accusing people of. So we have to be very careful that
Yeah,
once you start rate and rank,
I
you're
just
going to be-
I say when me hear
in a
people say
sense,
that.
in a sense, I get what no It's like say, for some people, they use the word friend very loosely.
Yeah,
Them they
yeah.
don't really know somebody about, oh, I'm a
Oh,
friend.
I'm a friend.
You understand?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
if I can't come at your yard and me can sit down and reason with you about, say, me and you are not friend, you're an associate. And I guess it's the same thing with
Acquaintance.
depression. It is based on who the person is that is using the word.
We
You
can't-
understand?
Don't become the thing you hate.
But also the thing about it is some of the times we have to know the people that surround us, the people that we choose as friends, and the people that we choose to let in what me always call your village. I remember one time we planned a fun weekend, book a villa, supposed to be a boys trip. We down there, we have a ball and we had drink and we had this and we had that, and as the night wind down, we start talking about some things, and one of our bridge name look at him and said, oh, like right now, I'm not even want there. Like, tired of this, huh? And then I saw my next bridge and I say, yo, you know, say, boy, from my mother drop out, I don't know what go on rare. And then my next bridge and I say, yo, you know, say with business and rare. At the time, me I go through my own thing with my people them and all that. And bro, I can tell you, say, we stand up there and the four of we huddled together. And we huddle and we hold on my head, and all of us are saying whatever it is in a circle. And we stand up and we ball and we hug.
Hey,
We stand
Linda,
up and we ball.
That's
When I say ball, we ball.
Good.
And we hug.
I have a similar situation. My friend, down the road, she had it was supposed to be a games night, you know.
Yeah.
Go at this games night, there's liquor, there's food, and everybody sitting and chat, and all of a sudden, it became a discussion.
That's usually what it's
And bro, in the middle of the discussion, all of a sudden, we start. This is not the heights of my stuff, and this person invite me to this discussion, to this
Games night.
night for kind of pull
Bring
me
you out
to
time.
bring me out, cause me in a one place where
Yeah,
you ever hear a place where if you carry light tonight, it kill the light. There's some needed there. Whole heap of my friend, them- nah, I use that word there loosely. Whole heap of people, whole heap of my associates figured I was going through something and they would have invited me out and I say, yo, I have this for do. I mean, I'm house, I have nothing for do. This person, this particular person decided that, yo,
Come out of there.
she know me personally. So she say, yo, listen, me I come for you. And if you're not show up, me I go come for you. And you don't want me come out here yard, come knock on the door and dry out. So I go. And we ended up it being a discussion in the middle of one game, you know, bro. We play drink card there. And in the middle of drink card there, drink card there.
Truth, come on.
In the middle of drink card do, the cards stopped and people start pouring out them emotions and people who for ball and who for console and it's and go back to knowing and understanding your friend, your circle.
Your circle. But also, what I would want to ask you specifically, like for me, I know personally when I am going into an episode or I'm having an episode, it is kind of messed up because I feel like I want to be alone, but I don't want to be alone.
But you still want to be alone.
But I want to be alone. So, you know, how would you advise my partner to deal with that? Because that is something that I've had people ask, like, so what am I supposed to do? And honestly, I don't know what to tell you, because I want you to left me alone.
Yeah.
But you see, if you left me alone, I feel like
leave me alone. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, I want you to left me alone, but I don't want you to left me alone. So, what would be, what you would think would be somewhere where you meet in the middle?
The best thing I would tell your partner, your friends, anybody is give space, but not too much space. So you know when, do you know when someone is like, I don't know who has kids here, but when your child is losing their mind and they're having a complete tantrum, the last thing they want you to do is hug them, because it doesn't help. But you can't run leave them because they go, I feel abandoned.
flee out there.
You just stand on the perimeter and wait. And say, "I soon come." And not just say, whenever you need me. And just come bring food, leave. Come back a little bit later, how you doing? And say, and share some mundane task and then go away again. And by go away I mean like for a day, a night. Depending on how well you know your partner, couple hours. Sometimes it might even be 2 days depending on what's going on. Sending them the little things that seem annoying, but it isn't. Because it's reminding them I'm here when you're ready.
Right.
And it's really important for them to know you're there no matter what. Because a big part of depression and going through an episode is the abandonment. Right? I don't want to feel like people are going to just eventually go away, but then when they no longer check in, I feel like I deserve it.
Right.
So it becomes this kind of cyclical experience. So for the people on the perimeter who want to support their loved ones, always check in. And parents say it about their kids all the time. I had to just give them almost 6 months sometimes. And it means every day for 6 months I come to the room and,
Yeah, right.
yeah, you want some food?
It
All
was,
right.
alright, like I have a close friend that usually I spend months abroad and then I come back, and came back in December. May I try link this person, and every time we made plans he was not showing up. But every time I talk to him, all him says, yo, some things are going on, but when I come link you, I talk to you. So may I say, alright, me figure I probably have a little problem with the woman and then he must stay and I try to fix things or whatever. Until I got a call from abroad like, yo, you check on this person, and I say, well, I talked to him last week, he didn't meet him, he say, yo, go check on him now. Because I'm going this man and him say, I eat this, I'm done. May I check out, I'm done.
Yeah, bro.
I drive got the house and first up I got out of the wrong house. So I know where I live. I know where I live. I'm there
You're so
because
distressed.
and when I go, Peter the man, I sit down and me and him talk and him just step on the floor and just a cry. And I say, brother, cry.
Yeah.
I say, ball. I say, whatever
Yeah.
it is. I'm going to look, and what I start after that is I would just, every once in a while when Facebook or whatever give you memories and he's involved,
You know, send it
Send
to
it.
him.
Send it to him.
Yeah, bro.
Yep.
send it to him.
Yo, you
With
wouldn't
a
know
party,
what that
with
do
drunk
feel.
or whatever,
You wouldn't know what that do feel.
But just, and he must say, yo, that, and I say, yeah, man, when you're ready, I'm there.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get.
That's exactly what you're doing.
So when me did I go through my thing, it's funny, cause I have a circle of trusted friends. Zin, you know that you know most of the circle of Linden. And I never knew what I was doing until I went to therapy, right? So this circle of trusted friends knew I was going through something, and I'd call this one particular person every night, and should I just have the phone line open and me just a ball on the phone, just a ball, and she just did it. She just did it. She just did it and listen, and she not say nothing. She don't even say yo. She don't even I try ask me what me just call and start ball, and she just sit down and listen to my ball, and then when me done, she said, "You feel better now?" Yeah.
You tell
And we chat about some other little stuff, and she said, "Alright, later." When I went to therapy, is when I realized
You're venting.
that I was creating a trust. I call them now my trusted village,
So
my
we
trusted
use earlier,
pillars. The
village.
same word we used earlier, Lyndon. And I can't remember that word that my therapist said, but she said, "Yo, you have to have a circle of trusted friends that if you feel a certain way, no matter what time of the night it is, you can call them. And you
3
can,
a.m. friends.
you're free to call them at whatever time, and they won't say, yo, why you call me them time of night, you dog, or what?"
Well, there is actually a term called the 3 a.m. friends. 3 a.m. friends is when you call Wagwan, because there must be something where you call it at 3 a.m. Wagwan. So
Listen.
for those people who cannot maybe not afford therapy, even though we have talked about the fact that there are free places or minimal cost places, would you suggest somebody lean towards that village? If they don't feel like getting to go up and sit in front of a stranger, would you suggest that for their own mental health they lean towards the village? Because again, your friends, while they're your friends, they can send you in different directions based on them. It's all human.
Well, this is okay. So, let me answer that in a different way. So, let me say this first. Yes, always lean on your village, whether you go to therapy or not, because they're your village. Village friends, acquaintances, they're different tiers, and so my people, my real people, the three, whatever you want to call them, they should know that you're going. You should trust them enough to say, "I'm going to therapy," right? Ideally, if not, they're not your village. I'm sorry, that's hard for me to put the two together. But the other part of it, because what you were describing a while ago, and even what you were describing, is what we call holding space. And so it's I can just sit with you in all of your pain, while you're bawling, while you're lamenting, while you're venting, and I'm not solving it. I'm not saying be grateful. I'm not saying think about say you have house and you have and things that go good in business and you have relationship and you pick them good. None of that. You simply just listen. That's called the professional term is holding space, and that's all you've all been describing. Is that I could feel safe enough to just highlight on the floor, and there is no version of this where I now need to feel like we now need to fix it or solve it or remind myself how lucky I am. Because you are no longer holding space. You are now creating solutions. Holding space is just being present. Now, ideally, therapists, and I say ideally because not everyone does this, ideally, therapists are supposed to naturally do that. We stay with you in the pain, thick and ugly. We don't try and solve it yet because it's not time for that. You're not ready for
You're not
solutions.
ready for that yet.
You're ready for
We're
me
ready
to
to
hold
say-
space. Your village should naturally do that. They just hold space for you. When you're not ready for solve, because in that moment, in that beautiful moment you described, where you and your four friends, you just cried, you held space for each other. No one was trying to figure out, say, boy, dog, you want to say, all right, man, don't worry yourself, because then you've now lost that moment.
And you know, funny enough, like even after that, when we got back to Kingston, it wasn't a case where one of them called and say, "You need to do this." We had that moment, and we had it,
That was that moment.
and it
I
was
want to
that.
talk about
That's
it again.
So let me
I
answer
want to
this.
talk about it
It's
again.
so powerful.
Was that shame why it never come back up? Or you just figure
No,
it's been dealt
it's
with,
not.
filed, sealed?
To be honest, it wasn't even shame. I think of it as, in that moment, we all had a moment of feeling comfortable enough to be vulnerable and all of that.
Yes.
What we would have done after that is we do our regular check-ins.
Right.
Yo, what
Good.
going with you? You good?
Just
Yeah?
that word.
All
Good.
right. Yo, oh, you stay good? All right. And even though with my friend that I talked about, this is recently, he's just now coming out of this,
Yeah.
and it got really bad.
Yeah.
And he's just coming out of it, and even now, that's all I do. Yo, bro, you good? Yeah, man. So when you're ready for touch road, I'm there.
Right.
Hey, we can tell you something.
Right.
I meet a sister through a virgin of mine, and one day she called me and she asked me a question. way. Slap over Evans, make tears run out of my eye. She go, "You alright?" I mean, I say, "Yeah man, good." And she say, "Yeah? How you stay mentally?" Bro,
It's not even that.
Bro,
or
well,
when,
I
them,
know.
when them say,
Bro.
"No man, are you really okay?"
no, this one get,
Because she
Yo,
separated, you saw the
yo.
separation.
and this is somebody who I know since about October,
Just know
September,
the person,
just
right?
for day. And bro, when she asked the question, how you stay mentally, it made me think.
You had to pause.
I had to, before I answered, I was like, for about 3 minutes, me up on the phone, just nah, say nothing.
edit.
Everything, me start playback stuff now. It's say, my teeth are like the thing there from her though, right? And occasionally, my closest friends them, at some point when me I talk to them, I say, how you stay mentally, you good?
Oh, doctor.
And every one of my friends them when I ask that question,
Pause.
they pause because
You have to think about it.
you have to
because-
think about it.
And the thing about it is a lot of the times, well, I know what I do. I make myself so damn busy, I don't have time to think.
Yeah, but is that
I
really
say
good
that
for
if-
us?
I'm not saying it's good. I am saying that is what, well, I should say that is what I used to do.
That's a coping mechanism.
That was my coping mechanism. You see, when I see my brain frazzling out, I'm like, you know what? You see, if I don't have time to sit and think about this,
Yeah,
and so you
but-
find that, because I have insomnia, you find that I would go 2-3 days with no sleep, just going. I find every single thing to do. Every work, what
Yeah,
it put
yeah,
off,
yeah.
every idea, what me did think, I just start put everything into fruition, I just start write, and I just start everything. Just to keep my brain from having that downtime, because once it goes in that downtime, I know where it leads me. And I tell everybody, I say, yo, depression is a thing, you know. It's like you're digging yourself in a hole. And you keep digging this hole until you get to rock bottom. And at rock bottom, you have a choice to make. It's either we're going to start, use back some other dirt to fill the hole and come out, or you're going to just do the
Just-
unthinkable.
Yeah.
You understand? And a lot of people they don't even realize when it is they're at rock bottom. Like and it's so crazy, like since before this, like I used to regularly on my Instagram, me always a post party and everything, and then once in a while I would just sit down and talk about depression and feelings and so on. So and it was so surprising the amount of people that would message me like, yo Lyndon, you know, sir, you like, I don't know you like that, but I feel like I can talk to you. I mean, I say, yeah man, come with it. And the first thing I said, first of all, I'm not a therapist, but based on what I've been through and my therapy and how I deal with whatever, and it was like, I sit down and I said, this is really a problem.
Yeah.
And this was one of the first things, when I said that I wanted to start this podcasting, one of the first things I said we're going to talk about was
Mental
Depression,
health.
mental health.
mental
Yeah,
health.
you know,
and
the funny,
especially,
you know the funny thing? When me see him post it, say I'm gonna talk about it, ask him how much time he message him about this topic.
yeah,
So
he's
ready,
been messaging
ready.
me from
From
starting.
him starting, me I say, Lyndon,
we get on this,
when we
get
are
on
gonna
this.
talk about men's mental health,
Understand?
me
And-
ready.
So is it that
Me
I
ready.
want to go back to the original topic? If what is making men not take it seriously on an individual level? Society is one thing. I'm talking on an individual level.
Yeah, but
Do
you
think
can't,
it's like
you can't,
this?
you can't go to the
No, no, no,
individual,
no, no.
you can't
No.
go to the individual level without going to society.
Hold on. I'm saying two things can be true at the same time. Two things can operate
Right.
at the same time.
Right.
So, for the guy who, yes, society is still talking in one ear, what can we do now other than three men comfortable talking about mental health? What else can we do as a solutions-based initiative to make a man say, you know what, I'm going to at least follow this page to see if I see anything else that triggers me?
Well,
Or
I think the
talk to
first
somebody.
thing, I think the first thing we have to understand is we have to explain to people what really is. And we're not gonna even break up the whole mental health thing. We're gonna chop out one little piece side, depression. Is when we got mental health, several days we have to sit down and talk about this.
very
So,
cognitive.
I could stick on one point tonight. Depression. We have to understand that depression is a chemical imbalance of the brain. Your brain not produce enough serotonin. And if it not produce it, you have to feel a little way. You supposed to know how you feel on a regular. some
Alright.
need to end up.
Hold on, let me simplify what I think you're trying to say and can tell me if I am
Yeah.
correct.
Yes.
Because a while ago you used the word serotonin, and I can say a lot of people that's watching
The
it
happy
don't know
juices.
what it is.
The happy juice.
Right? So I think what a major step that we can take is letting people know the signs of depression.
Yes.
Where they can say, yo,
Yes.
it's not a case where I'm just sad or I just feel away. Where they can
Yeah.
look and they can say, okay,
Yep.
these are 10 things that comes with this. And okay, I'm experiencing 8. So
8 out of 10 is fair
you
to
understand?
say, yeah.
Because that is the thing. A lot of, as you say, somebody will say, "Oh, I'm depressed." But what it is when you get from you're having a bad day or you're just sad to you're actually entering the state of depression.
Right.
I feel like that kind of knowledge is the knowledge that we can try to put out there, and I feel like we need to try and put it out in the simplest form,
Right.
where from the person who can't really read good to the person who have the A B C D E F G behind them name can understand and
Layman's
relate to it, because a lot of the
I think
times
this is your point.
a lot
no?
of the time, that is what happened. Where the breakdown is that people talk in words and in a language that the regular person can't understand, and so they tune out.
That's true.
I think we also have a problem in this country where we ourselves throw too many things and the frequency get jumbled. So we throw money, which automatically equals class, which automatically equals wealth, better than people
Status.
put themselves in so many categories. There's so much noise in between. This is happening to me and I want to get help here, because again, you ask some people, the first thing is, no, I'm a rich man thing.
Bro,
And we use it
yeah.
as an excuse to justify not looking for the help. No, some of them kind of money, they have things for them, have baby for feed, but yet, as I said, some people spend their money on put a party.
So,
for 40 grand.
you know, I tell a lot of my male friends, I say to them, say, alright, watch out. When you go up on a plane and we do the safety things, the very first thing them tell you is
Fix it.
if the oxygen mask drop out of the thing,
The person behind you.
Put yours on
put
first.
yours on first before you even if your child sit alongside of you, put on yours first. Now, me say that for said this. Bro, if me no good, me can't help you. If me no good, I am no good to my daughter, to my son, to my grandson, I am no good to nobody else if I am not good. So, first thing, men, nothing wrong with feeling a way about stuff. If you start feel a little way where you don't usually feel, bro, talk to somebody. A part of the problem, you know, Noran, is pride, you know.
Ego and pride.
Ego and pride, you know.
Fear of shame.
Cause we don't want society look upon we as a madman.
That's a blanket that we put on ourselves. The
Is it
shame
really
you
though?
feel. No, find somebody pressure you to feel the shame. But you clearly put so much power in that person or those people's perception of you that you are willing to not help yourself just so you don't feel
Yeah,
shame of them.
Me and
as
you,
well.
Hold
me
on,
and
hold
you
on.
can hold on. Me and you can think that now because we have been there.
Hold on. To go back to that also, you also have to remember, so you say, alright, society, but you have to remember that this is what was instilled in you since you were a
Birth.
child.
Since birth.
So if this is what
Yeah.
you have known your whole life,
Yeah.
you feel like, say, you just have to get up and be like, yeah man, but it's alright for this. And no.
Never. No.
Never.
You understand? So
But
that
no,
is
there's
where
a start.
society,
There's a
that is where
start.
society comes in, and you also, there is a start, but that start happens when you yourself realize it happened. There's no
Self-awareness.
time period, nobody can force it, and you have to get to that point where you're like, all right, me I try this for all of them years and it not work.
Right.
Probably I need to know, try something else.
Right.
Because even my mother did surprise when I look on her and say, you don't feel like I go to therapy. She said, huh? You? Because before I was like, yo, nah.
Whatever.
Yeah,
It came with maturity and growth. And when I got to a point where it's like, all right, then no, Lyndon, you're a big man. Certain things you need to let go of. Certain things you need to not let trigger you. Certain things you have to get this. The drinking of alcohol not help you. The have sex now help you. The all of this now help you. How you gonna deal with it?
Yeah.
You feel me? And a lot of people also don't
At some point
understand.
you have to take a stand.
Drinking alcohol
It's the worst thing you can do.
is the
in
worst
depressed.
thing you can do.
Yes.
But I don't know if we're going to probably have to do a part 2 to
I
this.
would know
We
that.
have probably 5 minutes left. In the
Okay.
5 minutes,
So
I want to
we're
give you a minute to share what it is you want to put out there, and each person will get a minute.
Can I go last? All right.
You want to go last? No, if you want to go last, we can go first. And
Yeah, go
Collective
first.
thoughts?
Because the reason is because I there's like 5 things I want to say, but I can't say all 5, so I'm not sure which one I want to say.
All right, Peter, what
So
you want to get
you
to the
want me to
people?
go first. Alright, hear me I say. Contrary to what society say, bro. I go forget say women I watch now.
Talk to the
I
man.
talk to man them. Bro, contrary to what society has said, if you feel away, you need to cry ball. If you feel away and you need to cry it out. Strong men cry. Nobody tell us that weak men cry. Strong men cry. If you see something within yourself like, yo, you love certain things and you realize say, nah, do them no more. You love go play pool and all of a sudden the pool hall don't entice you no more. Yes, it might be maturity, but at the same time, bro, it might be depression that kick you somewhere. Check it out. Talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. I can't emphasize this enough, bro. Talk to some. Me rather on the call somebody will. My virgin them, people who know me, call my phone, bother me. Me rather on the bother me than killing myself cause of depression, bro.
And somebody else.
No, Ron?
Alright. The fact is, mental health is not taken seriously enough, but it is taken seriously in certain pockets. That's just the reality of it. You will never get 100. We still have ego and tradition. We still have. I just don't think it should be so. What I would suggest to people, if at some point in time you really feel that you need to move away from the traditional way of thinking about men, masculinity, and your mental health, do it. Start small. Because if you keep using society's judgment as an excuse, it will always be an excuse until you stop making it an excuse. It's easier said than done. Though for 1 second think this is a tomorrow business. But you have to want to start. Without the desire to actually start, it's not going to happen. So if you want to even start a conversation, even with yourself, just say it out loud. Make yourself hear yourself. Say it. That's the start. Just start.
All right, for me, I will lead with this. Check on your strong friends. Check on the friends that you can always call on.
I love that.
Check on the person that is always there for you. Check
Yeah.
on the person that seems like they always have their shit together.
'Cause
Check on the
sometimes they
person
don't.
who makes it seem like life is all good and they're always smiling, because just like you go through things,
So
they go through things.
Amen.
And a lot of times I have been that strong friend even when I was in turmoil. But you come to
we
me,
know this.
I'ma still take on your problem, I'ma still
Yep.
try to deal with it. But at the
Yep.
same time, I can probably count on one hand how many people have been that person for me. And a lot of the times that is why when certain things happen or certain people will commit suicide, or you're like, but we never understand, we never, because, and some other times, pay attention to certain signs. When certain, and that is why we have to put out some of the information, but pay attention to certain signs. Pay attention to certain things that someone will say. If you hear someone talking and it doesn't sound like they have a plan for next week, something is wrong with that.
Yep.
If you're making a plan, you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be here next week. What you mean? Where you go?
What you doing Tuesday?
Oh, you fly out. You understand? So,
Yeah.
the biggest thing I can say, check upon your strong friend there. And I leave you to.
I mean, you all said it perfectly. If I can say anything to leave with, it would have to be this kind of conversation is so incredibly important. Men are human. And contrary to what society may tell us, there is not just anger and happiness. You are warranted and you deserve and you have all of the emotions. And at some point in time, you were told you don't and you can't. And that's bullshit. You have all of them. And if you don't have all of them, they come out in other ways. And you are worthy of expressing them. And if people tell you you are not, question those people, not the feelings. At that point in time, you need to change what you call your village and your circle,
Circle.
change them. Because I promise you there are other people that can be a part of it. So walk, there are always, you are worthy and you are important. And happiness and anger are not the only ones, I promise you. There's a whole other plethora of emotions in between. That's it.
In closing, and we are going to post this information. If you are suffering from depression, other mental health issues, or you're in a crisis, you can call the Mental Health Suicide Prevention Hotline. The number is 888-639-5433. Or go to the Ministry of Health and Wellness webpage to schedule a free counseling session. And this information will be posted on the page, in a post, in a story, in a whatever. Once again, thank you so much. Oh, some of these comments I'll have to go through and answer.
Unfortunately,
We're out of time, but thank you so much for tuning in, and thanks to our wonderful guests.
Jehan White, registered clinical counseling psychologist.
And Peter Harrison, if you need somebody to do karate or teach lessons, this is the man for you. Lyndon Dawes, Noran Price, signing off. Thank you all.
Guys, GMT Pre.